Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the witnesses for taking time to come and be with us here today. We are holding this hearing today at an exciting time in the world of labor policy. The American people elected a president who is committed to improving worker freedom so workers can have a stronger voice. Workers have a right to organize and join unions. At the same time, workers' rights of free speech and free association must be respected as well. Nowhere is this principle more important than in workplace unionization elections. Unions have at times hijacked these processes, sometimes with surprising results. According to research from the Institute for the American Worker, just 4.9% of current union workers have ever voted for the union that represents them. Unions frequently discourage workers who they know will vote against them during elections from voting altogether, leading to elections where only a handful of workers show up to vote and unionize an entire workplace. An example is the United Football League, where only 13% of players voted the union into power. Unionization elections should empower American workers, not cherry-pick the few workers who favor unionization. We must ask ourselves how we got to this point. A study published by the Institute for the American Worker and the Mackinac Center for Public Policy released this week, entitled Misread: How Legal Authorities Allow Tyranny of the Minority to Subvert Worker Enfranchisement, addresses this question. The study shows how flawed court interpretations of the Railway Labor Act and the National Labor Relations Act have given rise to our current predicament. Mr. Verduccio, could you share with us some of the key findings of this study?
Thank you, Representative Onder, and it's good to be testifying in front of you again, this time in front of Congress. So thank you very much. And thank you for your leadership on the Worker Enfranchisement Act that would require a quorum of workers to bring in a union in order for that union to have exclusive representation and represent all workers. The misread study that you cite, it has several findings. First of which, it cites a earlier Institute for the American Worker study that shows that, as you said, only 4.9% of workers had ever voted for the union at their workplace. The reasons for that is many. First, it's, as you pointed out, unions can organize with a slim minority of workers voting for that union. It is also, as my fellow witness, Mr. Solom, has pointed out, the difficulty of removing a union when it is formed. This is why having a quorum, or having, as the clear language of the National Labor Relations Act says, the majority of employees select the union, is so important.
Yes. Well, no, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for your mention of my own bill, the Worker Enfranchisement Act. I think clearly we need a legislative solution to fix this problem. That's why my bill would require a 2/3 quorum of eligible workers to be present at a workplace unionization election for the election to be deemed valid. I believe this ensures a fair elections process, and before we subject the entire workplace to monopoly representation by the union, this is important. My bill, as you know, would also require secret ballot voting. The NRLB has long recognized that in-person voting via secret ballots results in the highest level of participation in union representation elections. The Supreme Court, in fact, in NRLB versus Gissel Packing Company, recognized that card checks are, quote, admittedly inferior to the election process, and noted that, quote, we would be closing our eyes to obvious difficulties if we did not recognize that there have been abuses primarily arising out of misrepresentation by union organizers. Mr. Salam, I was wondering if you could highlight some of those abuses, particularly in light of the NRLB's CEMEX decision.
Thank you, Congressman. Well, if you look at what CEMEX does, it's rather radical. CEMEX says we take an election and we throw out the election results and install the union by government fiat to rule, even when they lost. And I'm running out of time, so just very, very quickly, the card check is vastly inferior because all of the protections of a secret ballot election are missing in a card check. There's no secrecy, there can be coercion, and you can be asked time and time again to sign a card, whereas an election, you just vote once.
Thank you. I yield back.